What's that got to do with the hole in the floor? It's like, how cool here? Why is there a hole here? I think it's designed for my chair leg to eventually end up in it and go, ha! It is in it. That's on it. All right.
That was not me.
Good evening and welcome to Pentalpha Chapel at Manteca. Thank you for being with us this evening. We're going to give you an insight into the Order of the Eastern Star. We hope that when you leave, you'll know just a little more about this fraternal and service organization than you did prior to entering the doors of the chapter room. Bill and I, this is Bill, will be presenting the heroines of our order and some understanding as to how they live their lives.
Ada is the first star point. She represents the daughter. I am Jephthah, Ada's father. After being cast out of my home at an early age by my stepbrothers, I grew to be a warrior and the successful leader of a band of outlaws. When I was older, Israel was in great danger from the Ammonites. My stepbrothers and the leaders of Israel came and begged me to lead their armies against their enemies. If victorious, my prize was to become the 9th judge and head of Israel. The battle was won, but when I returned home, the price that I had paid left me to live the rest of my life without my only beloved daughter. Ada's courage and bravery were great, as any warrior who had fought beside me. As a father, my grief was unbearable. Though her courage, strength, and faith, with a broken heart, together, father and daughter kept the solemn vow made to God.
Ruth is the second star point and represents the widow. I am Boaz, a wealthy man and owner of many fields of wheat and barley. One year at the harvest time, when visiting my fields, I noticed a very attractive woman. As is custom in our land, we are to leave some grain behind in the fields for the widows, orphans, and the poor. I asked about the attractive woman and was advised her name was Ruth. She inspired me, and I instructed the workers to leave extra grain for her to glean. At the end of the harvest season, a festival was held. I asked Ruth to come join us at our noon meal. The more I learned of her, the more impressed I became. In time, Ruth approached me, asking if I would be her protector. I was pleased to do this. I found that I had a deep affection for Ruth. I decided to meet with her nearest kin to pay off the inheritance. As was our custom, the kinsman drew off his shoe and handed it to me as a symbol of closing this bargain. Ruth and I were married.
Esther is the third star point and represents the wife. I am Xerxes, king of Persia. My power and wealth were great, with an empire that extended from India to Ethiopia. I was divorced from my wife because I was an arrogant, self-indulgent ruler. I felt the loss deeply, and after a time, I chose Esther, the most beautiful of all maidens, and crowned her queen. I found her to be a woman of the highest integrity and principle. She did not succumb to the temptations and was not spoiled by her position. Yes, I fell deeply in love with her. She warned me of an attempt to be made on my life, and I promised if she ever needed my protection, that I would be there for her. Esther did have a secret. She was of the Jewish race. When I issued the royal edict that would destroy the Jewish people, I did not know that I also condemned my beloved wife to death. My beautiful wife Esther would have given up her life and crown to save her people. Esther saved me from an attempt on my life, and in turn, Esther did save her people and ruled beside me as a strong, brave, and honorable woman.
Martha is the fourth star point and represents the sister. I am a friend and neighbor of Martha, Mary, and Lazarus. We lived in Bethany, less than 2 miles from Jerusalem. They were a very close family. When you met them, you saw the respect and love they had for each other. I am sure the harmony came from their deep belief in faith. As neighbors, we would all gather in their house frequently. Martha was the sister who kept the house, always providing for the needs of their guests. Mary was the sister who would listen to the stories Jesus told. When Lazarus, Ruth's brother, fell ill, it was Martha who sought out Jesus. We all thought she was so busy taking care of everyone that she didn't have time to listen to the stories he'd been telling Mary. How wrong we were. Upon her brother's death, Martha's faith was not shaken. She was steadfast in her belief. You can imagine the joy that filled our hearts when Lazarus came forth from the tomb. The trustful faith that Martha carried with her was an inspiration to all who lived in Bethany.
Electa is the fifth star point and represents all mothers. I am Gaius, husband of Electa. We were considered wealthy and influential in our community. I was Grand Master of Masons, and for that reason my family had been somewhat protected from early persecutions. Both Electa and I had been raised as pagans, but converted to Christianity and raised our family in that faith. Electa showed her devotion to this faith by her deeds. She was always there to help the sick and needy. She never turned away from giving of herself to the hungry, the poor, and the weary travelers. Her faith gave me strength in the time of our greatest trial. Electa had several chances to deny her faith, but never wavered. She refused to trample the cross under her foot. It has been said that women inspire men to noble deeds. My Electa gave her life for her faith. Could I do less to show mine? I did not.
My friends, these heroines did live. The lessons we learned are as applicable today as they were in the time of history, thus proving fidelity from Ada, constancy from Ruth, loyalty from Esther, the faith of Martha, and the love of our mothers are basic to our existence in all ages.
Special meeting of Pentalpha Chapter 339 of the City of Manteca, California will come to order.
Can everybody hear me? Is the volume loud enough? No, we need more volume? Yes. Are we good now? Better? I'll come a little closer. Okay, there we go. As worthy matron, it's my pleasure to welcome each of you into our chapter room. And for Bob to get on his side. Thank you for taking the time from your busy schedules to spend this evening with us. We have prepared a short presentation, and with the help of our officers, we hope that you will learn a little more about our Eastern Star and all the benefits it provides to its members and to the community at large. You might notice that we're videotaping the program tonight, as we're going to be using it for educational purposes throughout the state, and so we thank you for your understanding. In our organization, the president is referred to as the worthy matron. That's me. She is assisted by the worthy patron. That's him. But she's the chief officer. We use a gavel to direct our members when to sit and when to stand. 1 rap of the gavel is to sit, and 3 raps is to stand. We would ask that you would respond to the gavel with us this evening. You may have further questions, and if you write them down, we have pieces of paper at our conductress and associate conductresses stations. You can turn them in to them, to me, or any one of the members in the room tonight, and we will do our very best to answer your questions. Sister Conductress, you will open the Holy Bible. Let us repeat the Lord's Prayer in unison. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
I now declare Pentalpha chapter 339 open for the purpose of a special open meeting. Worthy patron, you will conduct the flag ceremony.
Sister Marshall, you will assist the flag bearer in the presentation of the flag of our country. Sisters, brothers, and friends, you will join me in the saluting of the flag of our country and giving the Pledge of Allegiance, and after which we will join in the singing of the first verse of our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is considered an open meeting. Usually, our meetings are closed, which means that the only people who can attend our meetings are members of the Order of the Eastern Star. All of our regular meetings follow the form as outlined in our ritual. Worthy patron, will you please provide some history on the Order of the Eastern Star for our guests tonight?
The Order of the Eastern Star was developed by Dr. Rob Morris in the early 1840s. It was his feeling that missionary should not be confined to men, obviously a forward thinker. Dr. Morris felt missionaries should be for the whole family, and their rules clearly state that women were not eligible for its degrees. Knowing that he could not change the ancient landmarks of masonry, Dr. Morris sought some method in which women could share with their Masonic brothers and enjoy the fellowship enjoyed by the gentlemen. It wasn't until 1850, when confined to his home after an accident, that Dr. Morris fully developed the Eastern Star degrees in its present form.
Brother Associate Patron, what is the Order of the Eastern Star?
The Order of the Eastern Star is the largest fraternal organization in the world to which both women and men may belong. It is a social order comprised of persons with spiritual values, but not of religion. It is open to all faiths, except to no faith.
Now each of our officers will give an explanation of their office and their significance. I am the worthy matron, and I preside over the chapter from the east. The altar is the focal point of our colorful Eastern Star, and its points of blue, yellow, white, green, and red. There are 18 officers, 17 in the room, and a sentinel outside the door. Sister Warder, please explain the significance of your office and that of the sentinel.
The sentinel and I are responsible for ensuring that no one enters or leaves the chapter room without permission of the presiding officers.
Sister Chaplain, please explain the significance of your office.
I am responsible for leading the chapter in its devotion at the altar.
Sister Marshall, please explain the duties of your office.
I lead all processions and assist in many ceremonies, including the presentation of the flag of our country.
Sister Organist, please explain the significance of your office.
I'm responsible for providing music for our ceremonies.
Sister Associate Conductress, please explain the significance of your office.
It is my responsibility to prepare candidates for the ceremony of initiation and to assist the conductress with her duties. We want those who are joining our order to feel comfortable and to enjoy our meetings.
Sister Conductress, please explain the significance of your office.
I assist the associate matron and am responsible for conducting those who are joining our order through their initiation, which happens at a meeting that lasts approximately 1 hour. It is also my duty to care for the altar, which is in the center of our chapter room. The Holy Bible rests upon our altar. However, Eastern Star is not a religion. Our one requirement for membership is that you believe in the existence of the Supreme Being.
Sister Treasurer, please explain the significance of your office.
I am elected by the members to maintain careful and accurate records of the finances of the chapter. Our resources represent the combined efforts of our members, and these resources are used to conduct, promote, and maintain our organization and serve our community.
Sister Secretary, please explain the significance of your office.
The members elect me to record the minutes from all of our meetings, to conduct all correspondence, and to assist the treasurer with the
military records. I assist with keeping our members informed of events throughout the state and the world of Eastern Star, and we now conduct much of our correspondence online with a website, Facebook page, YouTube page, and Twitter.
We will now hear from our star points who represent the historical heroines of our order. These women represent the key teachings of our order and serve as examples how we should live our lives.
Sister Ada, please explain the significance of your office.
My station is at the first point of our star. I represent the blue ray of Ada. Ada represents fidelity and is representing the daughter because of her sense of duty and her devotion to her father.
Sister Ruth, please explain the significance of your office.
My station is the second point of the star. I represent the yellow ray of Ruth. Ruth represents constancy and is representative of the widow. She cherished family and friends above all her personal ambition.
Sister Esther, please explain the significance of your office.
My station is at the third point of the star. I represent the white ray of Esther, the loyal wife. Esther was an ideal wife because she not only succeeded in fulfilling her duty to her husband, but also maintained her high standards and performed her duties to her nation and its people.
Sister Martha, explain the significance of your office.
My station is at the fourth point of our star. I represent the green ray of Martha, the sign of the sister. Martha is the ideal sister because she assumed the responsibility for the care and comfort of her brother and her sister Mary in their parentless home.
Sister Electa, please explain the significance of your office.
My station is at the fifth point of the star. I represent the red ray of Electa. Electa represents the virtue of love, and is the ideal mother because she sacrificed everything to establish a heritage for her children and family.
Our emblematic star represents the virtues of fidelity, constancy, loyalty, faith, and love that should adorn our lives and help us build an order dedicated to charity, truth, and loving kindness.
Brother Associate Patron, please explain the significance of your office.
I assist the worthy patron and am responsible and assume his responsibility in his absence.
Sister Associate Matron, please explain the significance of your office.
I assist the worthy matron and will assume her responsibilities in her absence.
So, what are the purposes of the Order of the Eastern Star? The stated purpose of our order are charitable, educational, fraternal, and scientific. But there's so much more to it than that. The charitable nature of the organization as it affects others can be seen in the millions of dollars which have been raised within the membership to support national, jurisdictional, and local charities. Nationally, Eastern Star supports charities like the Cancer Research Project, the Arthritis Fund, Heart Fund, Cancer Fund, the Knights Templar Eye Foundation, Service Dogs, Regenerative Medicine, and the Shriners charities such as the many Shriners hospitals that you see across the nation, and we are so lucky to have one so close to us in Sacramento. Locally, our chapters support the Blue Star Moms, Pause for the Purple Hearts, our local food banks, our schools, youth groups such as Rainbow, Jones Daughters, Malay, and Scouts, and we very actively support anyone in the community with cancer assistance. We make comfort items for those in need, such as pillows, lap blankets, bandages, cafe caps, and port pals, which have become quite a hit, which as they fit on the seat belts to protect those ports. And we do have some of those items here with us tonight that we can share with you so that you know if you have anybody in need, we would be happy to help them. Each year, we are proud to present those furthering their education with educational scholarships.
The members of Eastern Star also support the Masonic Youth Organization, Rainbow for Girls, Job's Daughters, and DMLA. Each year, Eastern Star awards thousands of dollars in scholarships to deserving college students to help them further their education. We all acknowledge that the youth present represent our future and take great pride in helping them succeed. Many of us attend their meetings and serve on their advisory boards. Our organization is also proud of our Eastern Star Senior Living Center in Yorba Linda. It's a place where you are absolutely free to be yourself. You can enjoy the quiet comforts of independent living, participate in our active retirement community, or both.
But Pentalpha chapter is not all work and no play. We take our fellowship and fun very seriously too. In addition to our regular meeting nights, we plan fun events that are open to everyone and are great opportunities to mix and mingle with us. This past year, we helped at the pumpkin patch, found our way through the corn maze, had a chili cook-off, served Coke floats while playing bingo, and we also have flyers for that tonight because that event happens in just 2 short weeks. We had an association-wide family barbecue and worked at the fireworks booth again this year, having a great time. We also travel to events throughout the state, and we look forward to attending our yearly convention. Our organization is beneficent, and we are always working to serve others in acts that are kind, charitable, philanthropic, and beneficial to others and the community.
We hope that you have learned a little more about our Order of the Eastern Star through our short presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask anyone present tonight.
We are honored to have several distinguished guests from our order who assisted us this evening. Sister Janet Robinson, past Grand Matron of the State of California and a member of Joaquin Chapter in Tracy. Brother Bob Pavorka, Associate Grand Patron of the State of California and a member of the Linden Chapter and Elk Grove Omnispo Chapter. Brother Bill Hunt, Supreme Motive Egyptian Order of the Psyops and a member of Joaquin Chapter in Tracy. And assisting us in our open meeting tonight, we also have, would you please call as I say your name, please? Bob Miller, Worthy Patron. Associate Matron, Connie Nelson. Associate Patron, Tom Dadios. Conductress, Rhonda Ralios. Associate Conductress, Diana Todd. Secretary, Barbara Clark. Treasurer, Carol Lowe. Chaplain, Annette Havorka. Marshal, Liz Civils. Organist, Ann Evans. Ada, Dana Nelson. Ruth, Gail Hunt. Esther, Katie Nielsen. Martha, Judy Schnabel. Electa, Denise Armstrong. Warder, Charlotte Schaefer. Sentinel, Carol Bonet. And our prompter, Jeannie Irwin. You may take a seat. Sister Jana, do you have a special introduction tonight?
Thank you, Worthy Matron, I do. I worked for many years at the City of Manteca in the building department. We worked closely with the planning department, and that is where I met someone who has always held the city very close to his heart, and in November was elected mayor. He is working hard, but when I asked him if he might be able to attend this evening, He immediately answered that he would see me there. It is my honor to introduce the Honorable Ben Cantu, Mayor of Manteca. Mr. Mayor, may we hear from you?
Well, I am honored to be here. I hadn't spoken with Janet in, I don't know how many years. A long time. I've been retired since 2006. When
I just went to a different job.
So I kind of lost contact with people at City Hall, but she's right. Manteca is dear to my heart. I grew up in this town. We moved here in 1953, and I'm still here. And took me a little bit of time, but I finally got elected as mayor. And my goal is to improve the level of public service in this community. And that is a hard thing to do when you have several decades of administration that are accustomed to doing things a different way. So I appreciate the invitation. This is the second time I've been in this building. It's always been here as long as I was growing up, and always a mystery to me what it was. But I had a dear friend, a longtime friend of Robert Eddy, who was a member of the Masonic Temple, passed away, and we had a ceremony here for him. So thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It was truly an honor to have you with us this evening. Thank you. Sister Janet, may we hear from you at this time?
Thank you, Wood Matron. For those of you who aren't familiar with our order or our order of business, when I stand up to say a few words, it's the happiest time in the room. Our members are smiling. Some days you might smell the coffee from the dining room, and it's all because we finally reached the end of the meeting. Yes, if I'm standing here, it's time to slip your shoes back on, and as the moment prepares, we'll eat, snack, or have something fun to drink in the dining room. On behalf of Pentalpha Chapter and the members of the Order of the Eastern Star, we thank each of you who took time out of your busy day to find out just a little bit more about Eastern Star. I know some of you can't wait to find out the score of the Giants game, and for your information, I kept it on, and it's going to get better. Right now it's 3-1, 1-3, and we have one. But we're doing it in the later innings, so I know we're going to get better. And there's others that just might want to know what happened to Luke tonight on The Bachelorette. We're going to have to find that out later. Those of you that are laughing, I know you watch it when you get home. You'll have to wait on that one. But I know that some of you came because you wondered just what was inside that building that you may have been told was secret. We don't have any secrets from the outside world, and now you can tell your friends that you, hopefully, met some nice people, and that we are a nice, cool building in which to meet and enjoy friendship and fellowship of others. I grew up in Tracy, and I remember when I was 5 years old. I stood in the doorway back there in the southwest, and I walked in wearing a long dress with a grown-up rainbow girl, and I was mascot for their organization. A few years passed by, and I was traveling to Manteca to pick up a bunch of girls and travel to Long Beach, Fresno, or Anaheim. It was one of the members of Manteca Rainbow Girls that bought me my first peanut butter milkshake at Foster Freeze, and I was hooked. I have forever friends from those days, one sitting in the chair right there, and Charlotte that was sitting in the chair back there. For some of you who belong to Rainbow, DeMolay, or Job's Daughters, the fraternal youth groups, it was customary that we would go on and join the Order of the Eastern Star, the Masonic Lodge, maybe Amaranth, and that's exactly what I did. For others, they wondered just what I was doing when I walked into that building that didn't have any windows and sometimes a long dress. I worked for many years as a paramedic in Tracy, and would come to chapter meetings in my black jumpsuit, steel-toed boots, and a radio strapped to my waist. The tones would go off and I'd be out the door so quick you didn't know what was happening. The ambulance was in the parking lot, and I was off. When I would go to work, I would sometimes change into nicer clothes and be on the road again, and they wondered, "Are you going to that Western Moon thing again?" I'd laugh and remind them it was Eastern Star, but I really think that some of them wished that they could have traveled with me to see what went on that building that didn't have any windows. For many years, the Order of the Eastern Star had a strict membership, which allowed only members with certain relationship to Masons to join. The world has changed, and so have our fraternal orders. We have to keep up with the times. I'll bet that most of you would be able to join our organization should you have that desire, not just because you're related to someone. We aren't just that club that your grandma used to belong to, and our clothes don't smell like mothballs. As Cindy told you tonight, we do a lot of fun things. Manteca meets once a month, but like to get together for fun times, just for great conversation and food. We're taking part in community events, and boy oh boy, Pentalpha chapter worked hard but had fun at the same time selling fireworks, and probably made their budget so they can reap the rewards for the next year. We have chapters throughout California, and tonight many of those chapters are represented. Join us in the dining room, find out more about us, and hopefully we'll see you again someday. Thank you, Mayor, for all the work that you are doing and the plans you have for the city of Manteca. Thank you, brothers Bob and Bill. We can always count on you and the many who are present here when called upon. And Bob, I know you kind of forgot, but we want to wish you and Annette a happy anniversary, as it was 2 years ago today that they got married at the Masonic Temple in Tracy. I remember the